Hello everybody. Today we are going to be replacing the valve cover gasket on the Toyota Matrix 1.8 liter engine. This is a 2004. This should apply to the 2003 through 2008 Toyota Matrix, Pontiac Vibe, and Toyota Corolla, and I think pretty much every 1.8 liter Toyota engine ever made. I'm not real sure, but at least those cars in that year range. This is a very easy engine to get to the parts for doing this, and it should be a pretty simple process. Let me show you the valve cover gasket that we've got, and we'll get down to it and see how long this takes. This is what we've got lined up to put in today: a Felpro VS 50542R valve cover set. Comes with the valve cover gasket. This is your tube seals. I think this is for your where your coil packs go. This is for your we'll see when we get it off. I forget what that is. Like where your studs go in from the top or something like that. And I believe these are for a couple of the studs as well that go in there. So, and it's nice and blue, so you can see if anything is squished out or anything like that. There is a direction on this. Notice that there is one side and the other side, and I think this side goes down. We will look at the old one when we get it out and verify. But basically, let's get cracking. First thing we're going to want to do is get the cover off the engine, which just on mine has these two 10mm acorn nuts that we're just going to take and set off to the side. You usually have little pop clips back there, and if yours is like mine, they've been missing so long the car doesn't even know it still had them. From here, all we've got to do, I'm going to unclip my coil packs. If I could do this with one hand. Come on. Let's start down here. Maybe this one will be more cooperative. Yeah, there we go. Come on. Let me get those loose, and we'll come right back. Alrighty, we got the coil packs loosened, so let's take off the bolts. All of this so far is 10mm, and none of this stuff so far should be in very tight. These are, after all, just plastic right here. So we will take these, set them aside. And I know we can get out like this first coil pack, maybe the second one. Yep, but the other two may be held down by this right here, the wire guide for these. So there's just a little bolt right there and one right there to remove. So let's get those out. So far, all very easy. And then this just kind of lifts up. Actually, it'll let you get those out of the way. Now, notice on these, there's not really much oil. I've recently replaced the plugs and cleaned this. Maybe a tiny bit of seepage here. So this one isn't in horrible condition. This, now, we just need to kind of push to the side to get out of the way. We also need to undo this clip right here. Pull that out of the way and pull our hose off for the PCV valve. And we will have to do the same thing for this hose up here on the front. Be careful. There we go. That came off with no troubles. And now we just got to get some of the rest of this stuff out of the way. So let me set you up on the tripod here, and we'll hop to that. Alrighty, let's see if you can see a little bit about what we're doing here. So there are 10 millimeter bolts all the way around here that we've got to pull off. There's a couple in the middle right here. So let's get those. And they may not pull all the way out because they've got O-rings on the bottom of them that we're going to replace. And the rest of this, we've got this one right here. That's a stud. Let's move this down so we can keep track of things a little bit better. And then we've got one right, oh, this stud right here, which I think I'm going to need something a little bit longer. But we've got this one. Let me go get a longer socket for this. We'll be right back. Alrighty, what I got for this. Oh, that is not a 10 right there. I think that's a 12. Let's find out, shall we? Yeah, that's a 12 right there. I don't want to set my wrench up on the windshield and chance breaking it. So we'll set that there. And we've got this. And that just kind of folds out of the way. And then we're going to come over, there's one right here. And then there are some back here. Yeah, I managed to get it. I'm not sure 100% if I'm going to be able to get all of these that way. Kind of a tight space for this to be used. And let me get the other wrench out for that. Sorry if I'm in the way. And this I can see probably had a leak at somebody tried to cover up at one point because this one was a little bit harder to get out. But there is that. And I believe we just have this one left over here. And this we can release. If I get a screwdriver in there, I believe, if you guys can see that there, I think, whoop, you fell over. Now you're trapped. See if this will kind of sort of let you see, but that yeah, pops out right there, and then that lets you move that out of the way to get to this last bolt here. That comes out really easily. And then, let me double check and make sure I got them all. Let's see. Yep, I think that's it. We might have to do a little prying there, but that should pop out now. Yep, that is coming off. So we just gotta get this out of the way. I might need to disconnect a couple of these. Yeah, let's get a couple of these clips out of the way just so I make sure I don't damage them. These are for my fuel injectors. Oh, there was a hold down piece right here, it looks like. And the entire thing is lifting off, and there we go. That is all it takes to get the valve cover gasket off a 1.8 liter engine. So let me take a quick peek. Something fell back down there. I want to see what it was, and we'll be right back. I don't know if that's supposed to be bent up like that or not. That's kind of interesting. Maybe it is because there's oh, that's the oil fill cap. Yeah, below, that's supposed to be bent up. That helps redirect stuff. So there's a little bit of trash right there from stuff over the years that has gotten in through there. But not bad, that's not bad. But look at the valve train here. After all these years, this looks to be in pretty darn good shape. Those, see if I can hold the flashlight for you too. Those are your lifters. And that still turns nicely there. So does that one. It feels really, really good. It looks really, really good. So what I'm going to do next, the chain looks good. It's nice and tight. Feels great. So what I'm going to do, this is the old gasket right here. Notice the way it comes out. Notice there's a ridge that sticks up on it. And the flat goes on the bottom. And this goes in from this side. And that plastic, I can feel it. It's really hard. See, it just snapped. So that's in need of a replacement. So I'm going to go through and get all this gasket off carefully and make sure to clean this surface. And I'm going to go clean this surface off as well to make sure this all looks good. Take your time. Don't get in a hurry cleaning it. Make sure it's really good, because if you clean it good and put it back, this will last you another 100,000 miles. So let's get to doing some cleaning here. Alrighty, I got all my surfaces here cleaned off. Mostly just used paper towel and fingernail to clean this. I'm going over it right now just to make sure any little dust that I pushed back on there I've gotten off. There was a dab of RTV silicone right over here and right up here. So when I put the, I'm going to put a dab there as well before I put this back on. And I've got this cleaned up. I did a little bit of cleaning inside. I'm not going to get super crazy or carried away on it. Same, I did a little bit of cleaning on the outside to clean it up, make it look a little bit nicer. These two bolts that were in the middle, this was what was on them. You can see they were kind of messed up, so I have the new ones on here. Not 100% certain which side goes down, so I'm going to kind of test fit them up here. And I don't think it matters 100% which side goes down. Although I think, see there's a little ridge. I think that's the side that goes down right there because it fits right in. Yeah, I think I like that. We're going to call that good because this flat side kind of mates up to the bottom of this real good. And I did take a little bit of sandpaper and clean this area too just to make sure it's nice and prepared. Yeah, and I will set that so that all I got to do is pick it up and transfer it over there. For now, let's get my RTV silicone. I got to puncture the tip on it real quick. And we'll put a little dab right there and there. Be right back. Alrighty, so that silicone was like right in this area here. So I'm going to put a blob right there and another little smattering right there where these two pieces come together. Same back here. Not a lot. Just a little smattering wherever it had that before. And that's about it. It wasn't a whole lot, and I don't need a whole lot. Just a tiny little bit there. Okay, so put the top back on my silicone. Now, let's get our gasket on. Alright, so what we do, get this end in frame here, is we're just going to start putting it in the right direction. And lining it up like so. Pushing this down into position. And going around and making sure this thing is well seated. And if it doesn't want to stay in, I can, especially right here, I may put a little dab of that silicone there just to hold it in place, and just the tiniest little bit. Not terribly sure I'm going to need any. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to need any. This really holds itself in place nicely once you get it on. So, that looks great, doesn't it? Let me wipe my hands off. I'll set you guys up and try to set this thing back in. Alrighty, got you guys set back up, kind of balanced precariously on the tripod here, so let's see if I can do this without knocking you over. So, here we go. It's nice because I can grab it like this and navigate this up under here. Move this out of the way. This out of the way. Getting this thing back in around everything is the hardest part. There we go. Once you get it past everything, it sets down nicely. Okay, we're going to take a good look and feel to make sure everything looks like it is seated down in there. You can see that gasket down there. That's awfully nice. And I can see around all this area and see that it is nicely seated. That's awesome. So now all I've got to do is start putting stuff back in. And I'm just going to go in and start finger tightening things. Don't want to forget my fuel injectors. I'm going to get these. Alright, this stud went right here. That was our 12mm one. Oops, wait a second. I'm getting ahead of myself. Looky there. Gotta remember to put things back. Continue on around this side. This I can actually put back in place. I don't need to do anything with it right now, so. And I'm just going to continue right on around getting this stuff in. And I'm not 100% certain what the torque spec on this is. It's not much, like 22 Newton meters or something like that. This was the last little piece. This is what fell down earlier when I heard something fall. Sorry, I'm probably getting in your guys' way, aren't I? I'm a-trying, but I tell you what, it's not easy. So basically 22 Newton meters is just good and snug. So I'm going to start in the center here. And snug those down. I can see the washers deforming there. I don't want to completely squish them, just a little bit. And then I'm going to start like here. Good and snug. I'm going to go across to the back here. That's good and snug. And I gotta get my 12 millimeter for this one. Good and snug. And I'm just gonna keep working in a cross style pattern, working from the center toward the outside. Good and snug there. I'm going to get over to this one. I think I might need an extension for that one if I'm going to use this. Snug. Here. And I don't think there was a center one over there. Nope, there was not. So I'm going to go around here and double check that I got everything. Got that. Got that. I know I got that one. Got that. Because as you tighten some of these down, some of the other ones will get a little bit loose. So you just want to double check everything. That's good. That's good. That's good, and I know I tightened that one down. We'll give it another check though. Yep, that's it. So that's dang near real time on doing this, guys. That's how easy this is. From here, I've got to set back in place my my coil covers, or not coil covers, but my coils with these. Now that all of them are in there, I can take this and what did I do with it? Right here. Put my PCV valve hose back in there. Put the retainer clamp on. I can clip that in. Definitely don't want to tighten these down too tight. This is just plastic. Although I see these do have metal inserts in them to keep you from breaking the plastic tabs off somewhat. Oh, you know what I did? That got looped under there, so I'm going to have to pull that back out. Let me do that. You guys don't have to see that. And there we are done. It looks really like I've never been in there, except there's this blue sticking through, and this is a little bit cleaner now. So that's all there is to it. Before I put my engine cover back on, I'm going to start it up, make sure everything got plugged in properly, and take a quick peek and look for leaks around there. Just make sure there's no oil seeping out or anything. There's no huge pressure up in this area. Oil gets pumped up to the top of the engine and the valve train slings it around. So as it drips down the back side or front side, you know, the edges of this, that's where it would seep out. If you have a lot of crankcase pressure, then that might help force it out too. This engine is in pretty good shape. I have not had any issues with PCV issues or anything like that. So I'm just going to start it up and make sure it looks good. Other than that, that is all there is to replacing the gasket, the valve cover gasket in one of these cars. That is if you have engine oil or oil seeping down the back side of the engine on the passenger side. This gasket is one of the two big failure points for this engine. On the back side right here, there's also, you know, where that chain was that we were looking at there, right on this side, there's a tensioner that mounts with two bolts on the back of the engine there too. And it doesn't have a gasket that I know of. All it has is a little rubber O-ring where the tensioner slides into the portion that it slides into. And that rubber O-ring would crack. And after 214, this has got 220,000 miles on it, that might crack. So if I'm going to clean off the back side of the engine now, where I had my oil leak, and then I'll monitor it and see what happens. If I have no additional oil seepage, then I know the valve cover gasket took care of it. If not, then I have to get a new tensioner. I don't think you can get just the O-ring. The tensioner is only $30 though, so it's got two bolts holding it in, so it's not that big of a deal just to replace the whole thing though. So that's it. I'm going to start her up, make sure everything looks good, and we're done. All together, even considering my neighbor come over to talk to me for a little bit, I stopped and washed my hands a couple of times because I'm using my phone for filming, and I took time to clean things and show you guys what was going on. It took me a whopping hour and 15 minutes. Without doing any of the other, I could have probably been done in 30 minutes. So it's a super easy job, guys. Don't be afraid to tackle this on your own. It's really something you can do. Talk to you later.